Episode 11. Guys, this is really getting, to be quite honest, pretty fucking exhausting. Fuck. I'm here all day, running around like a hamster in my hamster wheel, trying to think of something clever to say for 12 Rules for Life. It's a project that's really been a lifetime in the making, but I haven't really found the occasion to put my thoughts into word until this point. And so it really is an exciting time for me. It's an exciting journey. I feel like we're really breaching upon some new horizons that I don't know. Maybe some of the viewers out there might feel like I'm putting some stuff into order for them right now. That I'm figuring some stuff out for them. It's my self-help. It's my patented self-help. Okay? It's nothing to worry about. You feel like you're being possessed by some sort of energy. Nothing to worry about. That's just the self-help working its magic. Okay? And so there's nothing to worry about. Alright? You are an empty vessel. And you are to be filled with my special concoction. My special concoction, which will turn you into a rank and file member of my gamer legion, which will be the spearhead of my leap to power. It'll be the best of all worlds. It'll be a great leap forward. It'll be a putsch. It's gonna be great, guys, because if there's one thing that we gotta do is keep inventing new pipe dreams for us to chase after, because a power plant is a generator for human life, but human life is in many ways a generator for power plants. And the brilliance of the US model of capitalism is that it became heavily intertwined with spiritualism. And so not only was there no attempt to seize the means of production, but in fact everyone was initiated into a cult of worshipping the means of production. And this is why you have prominent guests on Joe Rogan, on other fora of ideas, other academias, other places of thought that are defining the world, podcasts. You got people talking about the transhuman age. Alright, we're about to get uploaded into Final Fantasy IV, into Final Fantasy XI. And you're gonna get the princess. You're gonna get to be the coolest guy in class. Alright, finally that's gonna be you, bro. Because it's a grave injustice that not everyone gets to experience everything. But with limitless experience potential, such as inside of the world of VR, then everyone will get to know what it's like to be the belle at the ball. Transhumanism. I want to see people putting in the comments down below what they think. Would you have a cyborg arm? Would you have a cyborg dick? If you could. All right, would you get chainsaws for hands? Would you get Edward Scissorhands? Would you get spliced with animal genes? All right, would you try to like raise some kind of like spliced mutant offspring, perhaps crossbred with a bear or a turtle, so that they'll get an extra hard shell? Business savvy. Yes, I think I should like to crossbreed my children with sea turtles. Side note on that, footnote if you will. Now comment below as well if you think I'm onto something here, but I think the equivalent of chickens in the sea, that's gotta be sea turtles, right? Sea turtles are the chickens of the sea. Anyways, not to talk shit about sea turtles, because I see in a lot of oh my god, this is so boring. I mean, this is great. This is fun. I'm pepped up. This is self-help. What the fuck was I saying? Something about turtles. Anyways, it's not the point. Alright, yeah, this is what I was gonna say. The earth is on top of an elephant, which is standing on top of a turtle. And I know what you're thinking. What's the turtle standing on? It's turtles all the way down. Okay, that's some shit out of Socrates. I recommend everyone to just think about that. Alright? It's turtles all the way down. Hard shell. Okay. So you got the Buddhists, right? They're essentially like Shrek. Alright, what does Shrek tell us in Shrek, the film? Trolls are like onions. They got layers. What does this mean? This means you can see the multifaceted personality of a troll over time. Okay, and the experience of getting to know a troll is essentially like peeling away layers of an onion. Now, anyone who's opened up an onion, and I know a lot of people out there are going to be cooking enthusiasts, and I'm going to be doing some cooking videos later on this channel, which is going to be awesome. I'm going to promote wholesomeness and unity among peoples. Anyways, if you've opened up an onion, you see that there's kind of no center here. Like, it seems like the center is just an incumbent new layer. It seems like the onion is constantly radiating new layers out, like a fractal, like a LSD hallucination. That's the Buddhist concept of Anatman, which basically means that if you really think about it, you can't really describe what's inside with words. And so they claim that personality is illusory. I don't really think that personality is illusory. I mean, fuck, it is. But at the same time, I don't think their conclusion is correct. I don't think that finding that out should lead to some great disappointment. I feel like that's kind of a bitch mode response. Very similar to Christianity in a way. Oh no, it's all illusions. So what, bro? Okay. Let's picture the world as an onion. Okay? And then you think every thought paradigm is a layer of that onion. And what you'll see is that you'll find a pattern of waves rising and falling, different thought paradigms, different eons, different ages, different times. And you can't really hope to do anything other than surf in those waves, dude. Okay? And that's, Rule 11 is really like the surfer mantra. it's kind of also like a biker mantra. Now, I've never ridden a motorcycle, so I don't know anything about biker, but I have tried surfing, and what I found was that what I lack in skill in terms of standing up on the board and having a smooth ride on the wave, I make up for in being able to absorb a lot of punishment on the waves. Alright, I get dragged under, dragged along the bottom. I don't really give a fuck. I get back up again. For me, it's kind of fun being in the water and like seeing what it can do. And yeah, if we're taking some inspiration from the movie Seven that I mentioned in episode 7, I guess that's my cardinal sin. But it's not as dramatic. So rule 11. What is rule 11? Okay. What Israel is rule 11? Good question. Good question. Rule 11. So we've been talking about Rule 10, right? Something about some stuff out of Star Wars. Some stuff about that fish. Some fish with Star Wars. Bigger fish. There's always a bigger fish. Now, Rule 11, let me think of a good movie example that kind of encapsulates the meaning of rule number 11. Well, maybe the closest I could get to describing it with pop culture, is the song Fight Fire with Fire by Metallica, of the Ride the Lightning album. And maybe that could be the formulation of Rule 11 as well. Fight fire with fire. What does that mean? That sounds a little bit Old Testament, don't you think? That sounds a little bit eye for an eye. Well, that kind of fits with the shape of the number 11, doesn't it? If you visually try to imagine the number 11 in front of you, you'd think, eye for an eye, that kind of makes sense with number 11. Fight fire with fire. I like Metallica. And, who doesn't? It's a massive band. Okay, I'm not trying to be niche here. I'm trying to have a broad appeal. I'm trying to have a broad appeal to you guys. Because Fight Fire with Fire is not really an effectual rule to deploy early on in the progression, in the list. But once you've completed the journey of rules 1 to 10, then you're ready to actually fight fire with fire. Okay? Because only you are watching your back. And that means that in life you're going to meet a lot of people who haven't even learned Rule 1. They may not have watched video series. They may have been unable to learn this on their own. I don't know. I don't know what's keeping them from breathing through their noses. But if you look at people, you can definitely see that a lot of people seem to be actively prevented from breathing through their noses. And so, you're going to be out there in the world, which is ruthless, competing for favor and glory and honor with other individuals who will have engaged in similar activities of self-improvement, and so they'll know the tricks and turns. Okay, for each play there's a counterplay. All right, a strike for a strike. And after you've completed this video series, you're going to embark on another journey, which is seeing this knowledge that I've shared with you come to life in your own real world experience. And that's going to be a very long and stagey process where you'll go up and up and up levels of complexity and see that the conflict that you thought you were in, the sides aren't always that obvious. Okay, who's on what side? It's not always that obvious. Only you are watching your back. Fight fire with fire. Okay. You see something, it doesn't sit right with you. You can use the wisdom of these rules to take that thing apart and design the counterplay. And such is life. This is the motor, this is the power plant that generates those waves in the world onion, the oscillations between two poles that generate wave frequencies in the ether, the substance that ties together the unity of experience. I've already said too much. And so, after Rule 11, you gotta know, especially if you know that the person you're talking to has been watching 12 Rules for Life as well, you gotta know that everything you do is a carefully plotted out game of chess. And sometimes you get to start with white, sometimes you get to start with black. Let's leave it at that. Sometimes you're playing for a draw. Sometimes you're going in for checkmate. Sometimes you're stalling for time. It's many, many aspects to think about playing chess. But the one thing you got to think about when you're employing the chess analogy to describe life is that life isn't black and white. Okay? It's shades. It's shades of black and white. And a lot of the time, shades that are closer to each other have more friction than shades that are further apart. And so, the framework of every person's individual game is going to be different, of course, conditioned by their life. Life is life. All right? Just remember that. Now, you might think, what is he actually on about here? What is he actually saying? Fight fire with fire? That seems a little bit over the top. Like you're going over the trench line in World War One. And in many ways, this is the point where we're going over the trench line. So, it all comes down to logistics, how planned out the artillery barrages are, how much munitions can be produced, how much industrialization you can achieve on a macro scale within your national entity. If we were to treat life as a World War One based strategy game. But there you would also meet the same problem as using the chess analogy, which is that, there are not many literal trenches out in society. But if you employ your metaphorical sense, your sense of poetry, you'll know what I mean. And poetry is another important thing that we're going to be discussing on the channel, because I think it's important to rhyme and have a good time and learn, and not necessarily learn that much, but at least have a good time. And I think that's it for Rule 11. Fight fire with fire. Alright, be the beast you want to be. Fuck 'em. No rules. There's always a bigger fish. This is shit you gotta be thinking about even when you're facing off against high-level opponents in the gladiatorial arena of life. Okay? And how you employ the net and trident in your particular case, that's up to you to discover. That's the beauty of self-help. It starts a journey within each person's life who chooses to get on board with the message. And I strongly urge you to get on board with the message and join the cult, because we're going to have a cool cult. This cult is going to be different from all the others, I promise you guys, okay? I'm going to be a fair and virtuous cult leader for you, the cult member, who have just become initiated through this absurdness. Have you answered the question yet? Have you found out why I'm talking to you? Think about it.